Hey, hello guys, it's Mark from the RCalsace in France, and today we have a box that comes direct from Flyer ESC in Shenzhen, and this is something we get, and only us, because of one person, Rafa Mamba Air Snakes ESC. Go check it out on eBay. We have here, because of him, this beautiful little thing here, Air Snake V60 Pro. Yeah, you have the right thing, V60. This little beast is not an 8S ESC, and it's way smaller than the ZTW Beast Pro, way smaller than the Hobbywing Max 4 ESC. That's a crazy thing. These ESCs are big, are heavy, and it's not something I like. So I was really excited as Rafa from Air Snake told me he finally gets Flyer to do a alloy case. Nice looking, because you know, back in time you get the Flyers only in some tube forms, nothing to mount it correctly on the car. It's also the case of most ESC. They just not thinking about how to fix the ESC on the car. So we spoke together for years now, and each time I tell, can you do something? We want to have a nice shaped ESC. We want to have some easy fix from the ESC. Internal back, for sure. And we know Flyer does 40 to 24S ESCs, especially for boats and airplane and all that stuff. Even stuff who can carry a man. They have done it. Quadcopters with someone on top, and it's crazy. So, but we just want something for RC cars, 1/5 scale, 1/4 scale, up to 20 kilograms cars. And you know, for heavy cars you need a lot of S and a small amount of kV to have a lot of torque, a low amp throw, and to drive simply you 50 or 20 kilogram heavy car like it is a 1/8 scale 4 kilogram 4S buggy. It's common for many people to drive a buggy like a Typhoon from Arma in 6S. It's a little bit crazy, but it's something usual for many people. But when you tell people drive a 12 or 60S 12 or 50 kilogram heavy car in 12 or 60S, they're gonna tell you, oh, you're crazy. No, think lower kV, more S. That is what we do here. We have a Reminator driving ATS setups, 2 ATS setups. This beast is 40 kilogram, can drive way more than 70 kilometers an hour with a runtime about 20 minutes with 5000 milliamps battery. And we even not need a 150 or 200C battery. We use 50C battery. Just cheap batteries, standard batteries. We just put 2x ATS together, and we have this nice runtime, enormous power. We can go way faster than 100 kilometers an hour, but we don't need it. The Reminator is a monster truck. Should we do it just for fun? To have a little match with our my favorite channel of all time, RC Spark Studio. So no, we don't gonna do that, should we? And here we have this gorgeous little thing. This thing is only 150 millimeter long, 60 millimeter bright, 50 millimeter high. You have mounting point 74 millimeters away. You have a maximum brightness here at this point from 80 millimeters, and this is the weight from this ESC. Not 650 like the ZTW Pro, not 750 gram like the Max 4. It's 560 gram only. It's not just 12S ESC, it's a 4 to 60S ESC. 300 amp continuous current. It's way enough if you have the right setup. Don't use too much kV, too big pinion, and you will see you will have a nice runtime with enough top speed for heavy loads. We have 8mm bullet connector for the motor. You can change it like with what you want, but most of this big size motor have this connector already on it. They use wires and not directly the plug in the ESC, because many motors, sorry, it's on the other side here, have already these connectors bolted on, and also not so long wires. You have motors with long wires, but many of them have not so long, and this length is, for me, for the most setup I have here in my FG trucks, in an X-Max, in a DBXL, it's long enough so I can plug it together without doing any rewiring. That's something I like. It's waterproof. When I mean waterproof, it's not for making boats. It's just in case of we have a little bit water on the terrain. You don't have to fear to pop the ESC out. We have a 50mm fan on the top. Easy change. Just open the case. In any if something happens to the ESC, to the fan, you just can change it easy. You can also put a fan with more RPM like the Rockets if you want, but I don't think you have to do it if you're not going to drive in the desert. You can put any wire you want at the ESC. Usually in these big power systems I use XT150 anti-spark. Don't forget to put your anti-spark at your connectors here. Programming wire is here. ESC wire for sure, normal. BEC internal back here is 7.4 volts and up to 50 amps with peak at 20 amps. That means any 1/5 scale truck, you can put a big, beefy 60 to 100 kilo servo in there without any problem. And you have here, that's a little bit too much, I think, wire for the on-off, because I have no so big car. But it's better to have too much than too less. So you have here a big on-off knob also to put the power on. I'm really excited to finally get that. And I really think that AirSnake here have done a milestone in big scale ESC with Flyer ESC. This is just exactly what we need. It's small, it's not so heavy, can do a lot of things. You have internal back, you have waterproof, you can change the fan, and it's the toughest guy of all, because no other brand has done small ESC with 60S. Back in the time I tested the FVT 12S ESC. It's a mess. It's a small ESC, like it's slightly the same size as a Max 6 ESC from Hobbywing, but it's a bad ESC. Don't get that. Since that, I was waiting for a brand to do something new in 12S. I was really hoping that Hobbywing will bring something like a Max 5 size, and then I see this concrete stone from an ESC, and I was thinking, what should I do with that? Nothing. So this is for me the best news of 2022 for that time. I gonna solder my wire on it, my plugs on it, and we're gonna test it. I have now a problem. In which car should I test it first? I have here the Stadium X Max. Should I go for this one with a 500 kV motor from SSS? These motors can go to 60S. I even use my Leopard 530 kV motor in 60S. It's rated to 12, but I was thinking for 1 or 2 years, why not test it in 60S? And this motor is hold on really well in 60S. I use it in my Outcast 60S. The footage are on the way. If I think on it, I'm gonna put the footage now in this video. So I don't know if I have think on it and if it's work, but in 60S 530 kV with a runtime with 4S 5000 mAh battery from Chaînes 60C, I was able to go to 103 km an hour and a runtime about 20 minutes. Easy. For sure, I don't drive 20 minutes at 103. 103 was the top speed. I do it maybe 5 or 6 times. Then just I drive in the field and I jump with backflips, double backflips, front flips, and all you want. The truck in 60S drives like the 1/8 kg 6S Outcast. Is just crazy power in a 50 kilogram car. It means about 30 pounds. It's just crazy. So, should I buy finally my MCD XR5 on-road car? Because that baby in 60S would be a blast. I don't want to hit 200 kilometers an hour. I really want this ESC for drive with low kV and have big scale trucks running nicely with low cost battery, with no stress for battery and motor. Should I do it in a low C DBXL with less kV, maybe 360 kV? This is for me, I think, the ESC you should have in a feed racing Dragon Hammer. Pull out the motor away and put such type of motor with low kV. The issue is in the feed racing is the pinion. It's rated for 8 mm. The SSS motors has 10 mm shafts. That's gonna be an issue because you need a motor with less kV who can hold on 60S. I try the 70-120 480 kV motor in 60S. He didn't made it. I broke the motor really fast. He cannot take 60S. So it's gonna be a problem to get a motor with less kV for the feed racing, but I'm gonna take a look what we can find. If we don't find something, I'm gonna ask a brand to do it. That's what we have done here with Rafa from Airsnake. I asked him, we should have that, and he agreed with me. So he asked Flyer SC to do something like that for him, and here we have. And I know it's the 10th time I say it, but woohoo! Finally we have this beast, this tiny little beast here, because this is the size from a Max 5 ESC, a little bit longer than a Max 5 ESC, but he gonna fit my X-Max. So yeah, I can drive my X-Max. You have imagine, for sure some of you that think now, if you take the Castle 1100 kV motor with the 8S, we're gonna have the same that 500 kV in 60S. Yeah, for sure. You're gonna have the same amount of kilovolts. What you forget in this equation is torque and power and I can only tell you one thing. Try it out. I have done it. 500 kV 60S makes a low Z5 truck fly like it was a 1/8 kg Timesso SC8 in 6S. And it's just so fun, and you have enormous runtime. You have your lightweight ESC, pull in a lightweight motor. 4 bashing 4S is also lightweight. It's going to be 1.6 kilogram battery only. For sure, you can use. Okay, I use 2x 8S5000. That means if you drive a Castle 1100 kV motor, a Castle 8S ESC, and 2 4S 10,000 milliamp battery, that means about 2 kilogram batteries. So you have way more weight at the batteries, even if you have the same weight motor and ESC. But you're gonna need more than twice the amp draw that I use with this system with a 500 kV ESC, which causes the battery to run way more high in temperature, way faster than I do. And you don't gonna have the torque I have. So if we drive same speed, it means we use slightly the same pinions to get the same top speed. I gonna drive longer than you. My battery not gonna be hot at the end effect, and I be able, if you just match how long you can drive before you overheat, I can use bigger pinion and go faster than the 8S system for those who want to go faster. That's not my goal. I like to drive about 20-25 minutes easy, so I can run with my buddies who drives 2-stroke engines. With the nice thing from the electrical side, it means instant power. That's what I like at my electric cars. Immediate power, torque, and power for 0 to 30,000 RPM. That's what I like on my trucks. We gotta test this baby, and you know, you're gonna see all the footage about driving. You're gonna see if something happened, because I'm a true channel. I just show on video all I do with my trucks. In that only purpose, I don't like to personally look at the video was always cut out. You always miss a point. You just have 3 minutes blah blah about the car, 3 minutes runtime, 3 minutes blah blah about how super nice and good and tough, and you have to buy it. I really prefer channels who take their time and show all the stuff, all what I do in the truck, all what happened to the truck. And this is why I do my channel also that way, because this is the way I like it. That's the way. Sorry, I'm running crazy because I just wanted to drive this thing. Because I exactly know what's gonna happen at my throttle trigger here when I'm going to drive that. Anytime I use a car with so much power, a heavy car, first I go gently, and after a few minutes, when you see, oh, it all works fine, all holding up, transmission has no issue, especially that type of baby, MCD, low C, 5 and all that stuff. I really like how tough the transmission is. And even if you put some more aggressive tires, some bigger tire on it, you will see it just works awesome. And after a few minutes, it's only in any time the same scenario. Full throttle! So guys, I hope to can show you soon on the track what happens with this and 500 kV 60S in one of my truck. My biggest issue now is to choose one of them and put him 60S in there to go drive. What I really want to do, I think, but it's gonna take some time, so probably I gonna put this in one of the truck I already have, and in parallel of that I gonna order a new one, because this is the ESC I really want to see in my MCD RR5 buggy. using 2 sets of lipos mounted in the MCD, because you have room for do that. If you have hard case or big battery, you're gonna have issue to pull it on, but in the MCD is gonna be fine. If I find a motor with less kV gonna fit the feed racing, I think we're gonna try that on a car from one of my buddies who he had the feed racing Dragon Hammer. So if you find the right motor to put in that car, we already gonna use it there, because in the feed racing you have the room for put 4 battery without any problem, and that's really gonna be nice to drive. See you soon outside. Let that beast breathe.